Hey, this is Saflevavi from LincolnRef.com, and it's time to learn another awesome guitar technique. In this video, we're going to cover percussive fingerstyle from start to finish. We're going to learn 6 different methods to drum on our guitar while making music, using exercises with tabs right here on the screen and zooming in on my right hand. So, let's go over the techniques. Let's see if I can nail all of them in one take. The slapping technique, the most basic and common one. Right? 2 thumping techniques, using our thumb or using our fingernails. Right? We're gonna learn the nail knock technique. Okay? Knocking with our fingernail. You hear that? We're gonna drum and strum, which seems easy, but it still takes some coordination. Okay, and last but not least, let's see if I can nail this, the tap and slap. Something like that. Didn't nail it in the first take, as you could see. Now, 3 things before we start. 1, be patient. Practice this 1 exercise at a time, 1 technique at a time. Okay, this takes time. To make it feel natural, it takes a lot of time, a lot of practice. For some of you, this will come easier. For some of you, it'll be harder. But you will get it eventually. Every technique is attainable once you have patience. Okay, this video won't be going anywhere. It will remain up right here on LincolnRef. You can return to it anytime, okay? For free. It'll never go anywhere, okay? I promise. So, have patience. Now, the second thing is that you need to feel the beat. We're going to talk about the beat a lot in this lesson. Okay, you're going to need to feel the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually, the thumps are on the 1, the slaps are on the 3, okay? Almost with all the exercises I'm going to show you. Now, about the tab, this is the third and last thing I want to tell you. About the tab, I marked the slaps with an X, the slaps with an X, and the thumps with brackets around the notes you're picking along with the thump. Okay, so that's the tab explanation. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's start with the slapping technique. It's the most common technique. It's not the easy one, but it's the most common one. So let's start with that because that's gonna accompany us along with the entire lesson, because we're gonna use slaps alongside every other technique. So the slap is done with this part of the hand, the bottom of your palm near the wrist. Okay, this part, the flashy part. Now, you'll be using the same part of the hand for the thump, but right now we're going to use it on the strings, on the bass strings. We want to get this sound. Now, you can use it for the entire set of strings, okay, but it's preferable to get the habit of hitting the bottom strings, okay, the bass strings, because then you can keep strumming and playing melodies on the top strings, as we're going to do in a little while. So our first exercise, let's hope my guitar didn't get out of tune with all those string hits. The first exercise is going to be this. Put A minor on. Okay? So what we're going to play is this. We're going to play strings 5, 4, 3, then slap. Then we're going to play strings 3 and 4 together. Okay, just to get used to the slapping. Okay? 5, 4, 3, slap, 3 and 4. Okay? Now, again, slapping the bass strings, you don't have to slap them really hard, you just give them a little bump. next exercise, we're going to elaborate on that and add the strum. We're going to slap and strum at the same time, like this. Okay, this is why I only want you to hit the bass strings, because now what you're going to do is throw open your hand, and once you hit the bass strings, you hit the top strings with your fingernails, like this. Okay, so you get both sounds at the same time, the chord and the thump. Okay, like this, really slowly. This would probably sound off, but like this. Okay? Okay? It has to be precise. Okay? You have to work on that. So the exercise is this. Strings, again, A minor, strings 5, 3, 2, slap and strum, and then pick strings 1, 2, and 3 using your fingers. Okay, not the fingernails. Use the flashy part of your finger to get the different sounds. So you get a strum and a pick. Okay, different sounds. So okay, now once you're comfortable with that, change to D minor and try to do that as well. Now the challenge here would be to hit everything but the top 3 strings. Okay, so you get the entire chord. So and then go back to A minor. Okay, now you can add to it. You can do 3 pull off to 0 when you pick again. By itself or with the chord. Okay, now once you get the speed going, it'll sound a little bit better. Okay, you can give it a little more groove. Now, the last exercise for the slapping technique is a complete riff, which is this. What I played at the beginning. Okay, this is 2 bars. I play D. I pick strings 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I slide into D from the first string to the second string. Then I play strings 1, 2, and 3 again. Then I slap and strum. Okay, but I slap and strum on D sus2. I play it with the open first string. Okay, I take the second finger off of the second fret of the first string. So I get this. And then I pick again, and I put my finger back on, so I get D again. And then I pick the whole chord again with the bass note, strings 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I hammer on the sus4 sound. I hammer on the pinky on the 3rd fret. And then I pick D again, okay, I take the pinky off. And then I play the slap and strum again on D sus2. And then pick 2 again, okay? Pick the D chord again, the whole D chord again. So this is just, okay? It's just a cliche on the D chord. It's 1 slide to 2, 2, 0, 2, 2 hammer on to 3, 2, 0, 2 again. Okay, but with slaps. Okay? You can play this, you can make your own riff, but the important thing is that the bass notes are on the 1 and the slaps are on the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Got it? So let's move on to, okay, I'll play it slowly, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, even slower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now go practice the slapping technique. Once you're ready, let's learn the thump. Now, the thump, the bass thump, it sounds like a bass drum. Okay, on some guitars it sounds a bit trebly, on other guitars it sounds like a really deep bass drum, depending on the wood and the make of the guitar. But it's designed to sound like a bass drum. Now, again, you use this part of the hand, the fleshy part, the bottom of the palm, right near the wrist, and this time you hit the guitar body, the wood, right above the sound hole. Okay, now what you do is this. Your hand is in the picking position and you just throw your wrist down. Okay, this is what you're aiming for. Now, this takes a bit of getting used to, especially when you add this, picking the bass note. Now we're gonna stay on A minor because E is easy. And if you practice with E minor and you only pick E, then it'll be harder to pick the rest of the strings. For example, if you pick D minor, picking the D bass note. So you want to get used to something that has strings all around it. So let's stay on A minor. You pick with your thumb, and as you pick, you throw your wrist down. Okay? You want them to be as close together as possible. Okay? Now, practice this. Just this. Even though it sounds and looks a bit ridiculous, just practice this. This movement. Now, once you think that you're ready, let's play the first lick. Okay, here goes. This. Okay, sounds familiar? That's the same lick we played before, but we added the thump. So you already know this lick. It's A minor, it's strings 5, 4, 3, slap and strum, and then pick the chord again. So slowly, really methodically. I think the guitar went a little bit out of tune. What does it matter? We're gonna hit the strings a lot more. So this is the first exercise, just adding the thump. Okay, the thump and the thumb. Okay, now the second variation, what I played just now, was playing the same thing, but I played the bass note, the next bass note, before the thump, like this. Okay? I played 5, 4, 3, slap and strum, and then the chord, and then right away the bass. And then I thumped without any other notes, so it was. Now, what this creates is a sense of syncopation. It gives you a sense of groove. Because it gives you the and feel, the doom do 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 to and doom do 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 to and doom do 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 to and doom. Okay? Which creates grooves, so you can practice this too. It's the same exercise, but the second time around, you start with the thump and thumb. Okay, but the second time around, you play the bass before the thump. Okay, now Now from here on out, you can combine exercises to create new riffs and new licks for you to play with. For example, you can do the thump once with the bass note, and then the second time around without the bass note, or between bass notes, and then you can combine them again and separate them again, something like this. With the bass note, without, with, without. Okay, so you get doom do 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 doom. Okay, try to hear the beat. Try to, if you can sing what you're playing, then you're doing fine. Okay, if you can hear the beat, then you can keep it going. If not, just slow it down and work methodically until you can work your way up to speed. Okay, now the next technique, the thump and nail technique, instead of thump and thumb, is basically the same thing. I've heard it being called the nail attack. It's kind of like the slap and strum, okay, but you thump the wood and strum the bass note, okay? You strum the bass note, so it's a slap and strum, but you don't slap anything, so it's a thump and strum. But just for namesake, for nomenclature, I will call it thump and nails. So how do you do that? You do it exactly like you do the slap and strum, but a couple of inches up. So it's this. That's it. This. You thump and throw your nails down to hit the bass note. Okay, now what am I doing here? I'm playing A minor, right? So how come we don't hear the E bass string? Because I'm touching it with my thumb right here to mute it. So we only hear the A bass note. So, got it? Now again, playing this slowly won't yield any good sound, but I'll try. Okay, it's this. You hammer your hand down on the guitar with a very short nail attack. Okay, don't strum the whole set of strings, just aim for a very, very small movement. Okay, very small movement. Very, very small. Okay? It doesn't matter if you hear A5, but you don't want this. You don't want the entire chord to sound. You want the bass note. Okay, so work on this. Now for this, we're gonna try and learn a more complex riff. We're gonna do this. Okay? You do the thump and nail, okay, for the A bass note. Then you pick, with your fingers, you pick strings 3 and 4, you hammer on from 0 to 2. Then you slap and strum, but you aim to play only the second and third strings. Okay? So we don't hear the E string. And the way you do that is limit your finger movement and try to do the same small movement that you did with this and do it here. Okay? So you don't hear the E string. Okay? You don't, I'm not muting it. It's open. But you want to practice hitting the strings that you aim for. Okay, you want to be precise. You want to hit exactly the strings that you want to play. So practice this. The thump with the nails for the A bass, and practice this. This was wrong. Okay? The slap and strum for strings 2 and 3 without playing and hitting the E string. Now, if you hit it, it doesn't make any difference, but I want you to learn the technique. So you do this, okay, the thumb and nails, the hammer on from 0 to 2 on strings 3 and 4, and then the slap and strum on strings 2 and 3. I know this was sloppy, I played the E string, and then you do the hammer on again, okay, from 0 to 2 on strings 3 and 4, and you get this: thump and nails, hammer on, slap and strum, hammer on strings 3 and 4, and you get this. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? The bass note, the thump on the 1, the slap on the 3. Okay? As a rule of thumb, it's not a pun, it is a rule of thumb, the slap always comes on the 3rd beat. Get used to playing the slap on every 3rd beat and you will have percussion down in no time. Okay? This is the key to percussive fingerstyle. Maybe I should have said it earlier, but you know, it's a lesson. So if you were watching up to now, this is the secret to percussive fingerstyle: to play the slap every 3rd beat, along with whatever else you're playing. So this is the exercise. Okay, now you can do this with the thump and thumb as another exercise. And the nail. Okay, so play that. Now the next one, the next exercise I thought of is the same thing with adding a lick at the end. Instead of this, you can replace it with 1 hammer on to 3 on the 2nd string, and then the open E string, or 3 pull off to 0 on the 1st string again. So okay, something like this. This, the hammer on, and then slap and strum, and then 1 hammer on to 3 on the 2nd string and the E string. And you can play 3-0 instead on the E string. You can play one and then the other. Okay, you can make your own exercise and build your own lick. Okay, but I'm just giving you the tools. Now, the next 2 exercises, the next 2 techniques are a lot of fun. They're really, really simple. I kept the simple stuff up to here because the last technique we're going to learn is probably the most difficult one to get down. So let's have a little break from difficult exercises and let's learn something that's a little easier. The nail knock technique is just strumming the top strings 3, 2, and 1, and keeping your finger going until your fingernail hits the guitar right below the sound hole, like this. Okay, so you get this sound. Okay, so the exercise that I can think of is this. Okay, something like this. This is a simple technique. Use it in any way you like. Okay? You have to use a little force when you strum down. So the exercise is in D minor. You play strings 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you strum and let your nail hit the wood, and then you pick strings 1 and 2 or 2 and 3. Okay, now another exercise is to use the thumb and thump along with this. Again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You play the thump with the bass note, with the 1, and then 2, and then 3 with the nail knock. Okay, replaces the slap. And then 4. Okay, got it? Not too difficult. This is one of the easier techniques. Now, before we continue to the fifth technique, I want to remind you that if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? There's a ton of lessons waiting for you, so subscribe to the channel and become a member of the Lick and Riff community. After this lesson is over, or even right now, you can click the link in the description and go download the tab from the website. The tab is for free, everything is for free, always for free on Lick and Riff. It's called Lick and Riff Free Guitar Education after all. But if you want to give something back to Lick and Riff and help me produce more of these lessons, there's a large blue donation button, and this lesson, for example, is a direct result of people who donated to Lick and Riff and keep this dream alive. So thank you to everyone who's been watching so far. Thank you for your donations, anyone who did donate, and thank you for any future donations that you will choose to make. I thank you in advance, and it all will go right back into Lick and Riff. It all goes right back into Lick and Riff, into working and making these lessons. That's all I wanted to say. So let's learn the fifth technique, the drum and strum. Now this is a basic technique. It's okay, just playing a bit of drums on the guitar, bass, snare, the bass, snare. Okay, again, use the fleshy part down the palm of your hand next to the wrist to thump on the guitar, on this part, okay, of the body. This gets the best bass sound, bass drum sound. So you thump it, then you just hit lightly next to the edge of the guitar, okay? Okay, you can use the side of the guitar to get a sound. Okay, now let's add some chords. Let's play E minor and A sus2. Okay, A sus2, 2 and 2 on strength 3 and 4. Okay. Now you play with you play this. You play the chord. You can thump and strum it. Okay, to get the bass sound going, and then you continue the rhythm. So the first bass drum sound comes along with a chord, or just the chord, because this has a certain percussion sound to it, because you're hitting strings, so you hear this. Okay, even if it's unconsciously, you hear this sound, and this is a percussive sound no matter what you do. So you can play the bass, or you can just strum. So strum, snare, bass, 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 snare, bass, strum, snare, bass, 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 snare, bass, strum. Okay, and change chords. Okay, now you can also add this instead of the last snare. So it's chord, snare, bass, 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 snare, and chord. Okay? So it's bass, snare, the bass, bass, snare, and chord. Got it? This is a really fun technique to practice. Okay, if you're singing along with friends around a campfire, you know, if you're living in a cliche or having a better life than I do, then you know, you can do this to entertain. Or if you're jamming with people, then doing this. will really get the party going, while the other guitar player will go, you know, okay, and start jamming on whatever it is you're playing. So this is a real party strum technique, the drum and strum. And now we're up to the sixth and last technique, the one that I'm probably gonna mess up the most, the tap and slap. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is this. We're gonna thump and strum, okay, the nail attack. We're gonna thump and play the E bass string. And then we're gonna hammer on 2 and then 3. So, and then we're gonna tap 8 on the bass note. Then we're gonna let go of this hand. We're gonna slap the side of the guitar for the K sound. So this is what we get. And then quickly we put a finger behind the tapping finger on 7 and then pull off the tapping finger to play 7 on the E bass note. Okay, so it's thump 0, 2, 3, tap 8, slap, put on 7, pull off the tap, and you get this. Okay, really slowly. Now, once you're comfortable with that, let's continue with the riff that I created. The first time around, it was 8-7 at the end. Now, the second time around, you tap 7 and pull off to 5. 7, 5. Then, the third time, you do 5, 3. Okay? So, fourth time around, you can go back up. Okay, so you can loop it around and do down, up, or find a finisher like 8, 8, 7. Okay, you tap twice. Something like this. You tap, you let it go, you put your finger on 7, you tap again and pull off. Like this. So you get this. 0, 2, 3, 8, 7, 0, 2, 3, 7, 5, 0, 3, 5, 3, 0, 2, 3, 8, 8, 7. And right after the tap, you slap. Again, you can build your own licks. You can do 8, slide to 10, slide back to 8, pull off to 7. You can do 8, 8, 10, 8, 7, like this. 8, then 8 slide to 10, 10 slide to 8, then pull off to 7, like this. Not like that. And then you can do another bass note to get pum pa pa pum instead of pa pa pa. Okay, and then you add another note to it. Okay, you just strum the bass string again. Yeah, I don't care that I'm missing notes here. I want to demonstrate the slapping technique. So, okay, marry the tap to the slap. Every time you tap, automatically connect it to a slap. Okay? Tell yourself, Tap and slap, hence the name. Tap, slap, tap, slap, tap, slap, tap. Okay, got it? And then you can do whatever you want with this. You can hammer on E5, you can strum strings 4, 5, and 6, and hammer on the 2 and 2 on strings 5 and 4, and then hammer on the 3 on the bass, and then you get a variation. Okay? Okay, something like this. You can tap on different strings. You can tap on the A string, you can tap on the D string. Okay, something like this. Okay, just play with it. I played 9 and 7. Now, it wasn't very melodic exactly to the scale, but who says it has to adhere to a scale? We're doing an exercise. So just play whatever you want to play, and then you can tune your guitar differently and try it with different chords and different stuff. There's actually no end to this. For example, you can do a drop D and do something like this. Okay, I'm just playing around here. I know that it sounds lame, but I'm just giving you more ideas to use. So I'll go tune my guitar now. I think it went completely out of tune during this lesson, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that you know how to strum and drum on your guitar right now. And I congratulate you for it. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't downloaded the tab for the exercises yet, go to the website. The link is in the description. Go download the tab. If you want to give something back for this lesson, there's the donation button. And of course, it will go right back into making more lessons for you to enjoy. So I thank you in advance for your support. And share this lesson with anyone that you know would appreciate it. Anyone is allowed to learn new techniques and get better on guitar, and that way you will have someone to jam with. But even if not, that's okay. Okay, I'm still here, and I will be here the next lesson to teach you more awesome stuff. So I will see you the next lesson. You go get this under your fingers. Enjoy, have fun, let me know how it goes, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.